Hello, today I'm going to play through Grand Prix, which isn't too different from Thunder Alley, which is good. There's a few mechanics and stuff like that that have changed, but for the most part it's pretty much the same thing. There are some things, of course, because it's a different game, that are different, so I'm actually going to go through it from the very beginning, including with the setup. I actually haven't played this before, so we'll see how it goes and see if I can get most of the rules correct. So as I'm getting ready to start up, one of the biggest changes to it is the fact that there's only 2 cars that you're going to control for your team, and as part of that you're going to have a bunch of NPC cars that you're going to be controlling that are going to be considered to be part of your team but don't actually count for scoring. So over in the right hand corner you can see how I have a little star icon, which is going to show that the Midnight Runners Motorsports is going to be controlling the star cars. So there's the star cars, the other player is going to be, which is the Bull Racing, is going to be controlling the blue diamonds, and then there's going to be 2 cars which are going to be not assigned to anybody. There's going to be first come first serve. One of the other changes, other than the cars, is the fact that you have a hand of 12 cards if you're playing 2-player like I am right now. If you're playing 3-player, it's a hand of 8 cards. If it's 4-player, it's a hand of 6 cards. And if you're playing 5-player, it's a hand of 5 cards. And this game can play all the way up to 11 players, which is kind of crazy. And once you get towards the end, then obviously you're not going to have NPC cars anymore. One of the other differences with this game is the fact that there's now tires and tire types, and it is mandatory that during the race you have to change tire types at least once, unless it's raining. So there's a little token which I've placed up over here, which basically has dry on one side and wet on the other side. So anytime that it's wet conditions, you can use the blue tires, which are water tires, and if the wet conditions never change, then you could run the entire race on only wet tires. But other than that, you have to change tires at least once. Now, of the 2 tire types, you have the hard tires, which are the white, and they don't really give you any sort of benefit. They just kind of are. But what's kind of interesting is the fact that you have the red tires, which are considered to be soft tires, which will allow you to be able to do a separate movement once you're using that card. So basically, once you would decide to get this car's bonus, the soft tire bonus, what you would do is you would flip the tire to show that they've been used. You would take a tire wear token, and then you're going to place it on your mat. And then what that would allow you to do is say that you were playing this card. I could then use my normal 6 movement in a link, which is what this would be, which is the same as a draft in Thunder Alley. And then after I ended that movement, I would be able to take that 3 more movements. So basically you could use your pit movement as normal movement. And it's not, when you do that, like any of the restrictions based off of wear and stuff like that, the speed restrictions, that secondary movement doesn't get any speed restrictions. So you can just use that straight out as it's 3. Then of course, once this has been used, then you can't use it. But it looks like in the rules that there's nothing that makes it to where next pit stop you couldn't just change tires again, put more soft tires back on your car, and basically be able to redo that. So I think that's kind of an interesting change with the whole tires and stuff like that. There's also been some changes to pitting, which I'll talk about later on. And also with pitting, I'll talk about pitting later on. Alright, so to start, we have this little bag here. We're going to have our 2 cars, so 1 for each of the teams in this bag. You're going to shake it up Then you're going to draw a card out. So this is going to be the bull racing card, so it's going to go in slot number 1. And then the Midnight Runners card will go into slot number 2. So now you'll take the other cars and you're going to start them at slot 12. So now it's going to be reverse of here. So now car 12 is going to go into slot 12. And now car 80 is going to go into slot 13. So now you're going to take your NPC cars and you're going to put them in the bag, and then you're going to start placing them out. Get them all shooken up. Alright, so now we will place them. One thing that they did do with this, which I'm not really too thrilled with, is like your colors. So that's like the light side and that's like the dark side. So I wish they were a little bit darker than like what they've been in Thunder Alley, but it's pretty minor. Whoops, that card's backwards. Alright, all the cards are together. Okay, so get rid of the wet tires. So for this one to start the race, car 12 is going to be starting with the soft tires. Car 35 is going to be starting with the hard tires. For blue, I have both of their cars starting with the soft tires. And we'll have black go first. So we're going to choose a car. And I think to start out, I'm going to start with Overtake, which is going to be able to basically like work in the pack in the first one. So I'm going to be able to move forward with card number 12 is the one that I'm going to use. So it says the active car may exchange places with any car that is directly in front of it for one movement point. You may pass multiple cars in this matter on a turn. So as you noticed on the card, it had this little burst icon. So this little icon right here is called a close call token. So car 12 is going to get the close call token. What it's going to do, hold on, let me move. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Flip it to show that it's moved. So close call tokens don't mess with your movement or anything else like that. But what they do is make it to where certain events will target cars that have the most close call tokens. And so it would get whatever that event is, but once it takes the event, then that car gets rid of all of its close call tokens. Otherwise, the tokens just kind of build up until something happens to make them get removed. Alright, so let's see here for... For the blue player, I'm going to play number 6. Whoops. Since that's my team, and we'll play Chasing the Race. So it's a line movement, so basically it's going to move like normal with the draft movement. So let's see here, number 6 is going to do it. We're going to move forward 5. Let's choose inside lane. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And NPC cars don't take damage. So on this one, the active car could make a lateral movement, so I could do that. But at this point, I don't think there's any reason to. So now, Midnight Runners Motorsports. Alright, so I think I am going to use my actual 35 car for this one. So I'm going to slingshot, which is a lead movement. So lead movement is going to take all the cars behind it, and it's going to follow exactly what this car does. So it's going to take one lateral or diagonal movement. Normally diagonal movement's not allowed. You can either go forward or laterally, but not diagonally. But this card allows that to happen, so it's a 7. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Since it's a lead movement, I can do that. Flip it. And then take a tire wear for number 35. Alright, now to Bull. So Bull Racing, he's got a car way in the back. So I'm not sure about that, but I have one team member right there that can help out. But let's see here, let's see what we can do. So I'm going to play a solid line. And I'm going to use number 21, I think, to do this. So what will happen is I'm going to do 2 movement points to displace that car. Now, unlike in Thunder Alley, every time a car is displaced, they all move forward now instead of going backwards for whatever you just displaced. So that was 2 points to do that. So 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll take this line. So Midnight Runners. Okay, so I'm going to do Follow the Leader with this one, mostly because of the fact that this is a heavier type of a damage. This is a 10 damage. So, and NPCs don't take damage. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do that with number 29, which is one that anybody can use. I'm going to bump him forward. Any forward movement, bumping is only one movement point. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to bump him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so now with Midnight Runners having already gone with their 2 actual cars, then all of their other cards right now are just going to be used to be moving NPC cards. Non-player character cards. Alright, so let's see here. What does Bull Racing want to do? They're in the back again. So he needs to start moving forward once more. And I do have one team car in line. And let's see here. I think I'm going to do Top Gear for this one, some solo movement. And then I will use number 7 to do that. Go 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So by him doing that, using solo movement, which car was that though? Because it's only for everything forward. Pretty sure it was number 7, so I'll have to leave that one behind. Which I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have done that actually. Yeah, hold on. I'm not going to do that with that one, so I'll flip it back over. I'm going to use my actual car to do that. Number 80. So he's going to take some transmission, which is kind of bad. That's 10. It's 10 wear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that part changes, just everybody else moves up. Alright, Midnight Runners. Let's see here. So they have a car here. So yeah. So I'm going to use 31 to do conservative, which is some line movement. So I can't make any lateral movement for this one. So 31 is going to go forward 4. So I can choose right here to break this line. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 to drag everything behind it. Now bull racing, got 3 cars left. And I will go I think I'll use Chasing the Race. So this car can't make any lateral movement for this turn for a 5. And I'm going to use the other NPC 40, the other non-controlled by either of us one, to do 5. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, so poor 29 just got left behind all by itself now. Alright, so now for black. For Midnight Runners, got 2 cars in line, plus this one. Alright, so I'm going to use late break. And I'm going to have it come over here. Just going to push all these guys forward 1. So that was 2. 2 movement to do that. Its pursuit would push everything forward, but it just broke the line. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And at the end of using all of its movement points, it can swap with the car in front of it, so it'll do that. Okay, now I'm going to use Flat Out for bull racing. For number 13, we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because I'm going to end up in the same place, so I'll just do my 6 and so. Go 6, 7, 8, 9. because coming in and out of corners, the active player gets to decide which lanes they're taking. And he just pushed him, which is called a conditional link, when solo movement or lead movement pushes other cars. So I could have broke that link at any time, but coming in there's only 2 spaces, so it'll be a little bit harder to break it, but I could have. Okay, so now it's back to midnight runners. Car here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need at least a 4 to catch up. And I need to probably drag that one. Actually, both of these have already gone. Yep, so they're stuck. So I'm going to power line with number 20. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, how many cars do I have? 1, 2. So we got 1, 2, 3. No, just 2. 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, let's see here. I think I can probably do something with number 7. So probably the best thing to do with number 7 would be some sort of a lead movement. So we'll play slingshot, so the active car may move ahead diagonally to 1 space at any time during movement. So I'll do that here, jump there, I'll use number 7 to do this. So that's going to be 2 points to do that movement since I'm bumping a car, or displacing a car I should say. So they all move forward 1 for the bump, for the 2 movement points. We'll go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And these ones basically are going to fall in line. Man, that went a lot further than I thought it was going to be. Just left a bunch of my cars behind, which I didn't want to do. Alright, so now black is just going to play, set the pace, use its last car for 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. And I'm going to challenge, bull racing is going to challenge. With this one, okay, and this one I can move into an empty space. So let me take my close call token for 33. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oops. Okay, that's it. So we almost made an entire lap in a turn. So now we will perform end of turn sequence. We're going to draw and resolve an event card. So our event card, actually let's get this out of here. It's going to be a blown engine. So the card with the most engine markers, which is going to be number 80, blows its engine. Retire that card from the race. If there's a tie, check the team draw. No player cards have an engine marker. The NPC card closest to the lead is affected. If the target is NPC, retire it. But unfortunately, it's going to be number 80, retired. Which no wonder he started dropping out. So unfortunately for him, throw that back and he would be 4th place, taking 12 points. Alright, so then if you notice at the bottom it says pit 6. So any NPC cards that end in 6 as their last digit, so that would be this one, are going to pit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they move back 5. 13, 31, 12, and 29, so that's the only one pitting right now. So perform pit stops, which I don't know if I'm going to do a pit stop right now for any of the cars, the players anyway. So now determine first player. So first player would be Bull Racing, since he's out in the lead. And now there weren't any cars that were lapped, so now we can discard unwanted race cards and drop back up to our hand size of 12. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. 12. Okay. Alright, so now Bull Racing's first player this round, this turn. And there's only one car I need to worry about, kind of, which would be this one. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. So I'm going to play flat out just to get this car out of the pits. So 1, 2, 3. 4, because whenever you're exiting the pits, you're always using the 4 value. Also, any like damage and stuff like that, like even if this had been like my car coming out of pits, you're not going to take any of these markers. All you worry about is the small. And also, and when you're going out and there's a car that happened to be there, like if we were like this and this car was coming out and pushing that one, then it doesn't get a collision marker for coming out of the pits. Alright, so now what do I need to do? I'm going to play follow the leader for number 31 for 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I'm going to use number 21 to chase the race. So going 2. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it can't do that because it couldn't make any lateral movement. Two, 3. So